We're in Eagle Pass, a city at the epicenter of the immigration debate. Then presidential candidate Donald Trump visited the city many times last year, promising sweeping change, and he became one of the very few Republican presidential candidates to win a race here in Maverick County. He became the first Republican presidential candidate in more than 50 years to win a majority of the votes in Maverick County. And now that we're 5 days away from his inauguration, we decided to go to the Wagon Wheel, which is one of the most popular restaurants here in Eagle Pass, to talk to people about what they want to see change.
The inflation and everything, the cost increasing, and going to college, the bills getting higher and not being able to pay and struggling throughout going to college. I think that's something that scares me.
My major issue would be inflation, just the cost of everything right now. You have so many people that cannot afford to buy a house. When before you could afford to buy a house, now you can't do that. Vehicles, the same thing. You know, used vehicle costs you almost as much as you would pay for a new one back then. So inflation, I've seen, the price of gas, the price of eggs, milk. It's ridiculous right now.
Back in December of 2021, there was, we got 2 illegals and one was carrying a gun. I have cameras where as soon as they passed by it whistled at them, so they were like, they ran. But that's how dangerous it was when you see an illegal with a gun, what's going on, We had to call Border Patrol and all them to, try to help us out.
The community has been very appreciative. We've been nominated and achieved the Best in Eagle Pass the last 3 years in a row for barbecue, and there are other locations. There are so many family-owned businesses here in town, and it's not just about a plaque on the wall. It's about supporting everybody because we want everyone to be successful, whether it's having one restaurant or a brick and mortar building or having a food truck, whatever it is you do. You just want this community to thrive. And it's nice to walk into a shop where pretty much everybody knows you, coming from a small town, and everybody, at least the majority of the people are pretty friendly, and very giving and very caring. We're not perfect by any means. We deal with a lot. We have a lot of positives to our community, but of course there's been a lot of notoriety for everything else that's been coming, after the pandemic. And so we just try to make the best of it every single day. Say not all people that come through are bad. Some of us feel that maybe doing it the right way after that open border policy would have been the best thing because that's what our ancestors did. And so it was hard with such an influx. It was very uncomfortable for some of these local businesses and of course people in the community because you didn't know who was out there, and it didn't feel safe for a while. We talked about Governor Abbott coming in and of course President Trump coming in a few times as well, even Elon Musk coming into town. And I think it reiterated that we weren't going to be forgotten because we are a gateway, literally a border town. And for being such a small community, it was a little scary for a little bit. But with all the law enforcement presence that we already have and those that have come in to help support our community, it feels safer. It took a while, but I think that we've made a lot of progress. And so from a business person point of view, I feel safer, when I'm going home, when I'm coming to work, seeing all these. I don't feel intimidated when I see law enforcement. On the contrary, I want people to feel the same way. But everybody pretty much in this town has had different experiences, and so I can't speak for anybody, but I'm speaking for myself.
We do see a bunch of immigrants trespassing every day throughout the hours, throughout the day. We see a bunch of people coming in and out, walking the streets and stuff. And yeah, it's not scary, it's just we see a bunch of people and little kids walking by themselves as well with their backpacks and stuff. We try to help, my family and I, we try to give blankets and waters to any little kids and adults as well when they see we have a baby with them and stuff. We try to do our part and help with them.
If we enforce our immigration laws, we would not have an issue with everything that's going on. But I would like to see, as far as like immigration reform, I would like to see if they could get something passed where people can come and ask, okay, you know what, I want to work at this farm. I need this many people working here, and have somebody come in and do that job for us. Because it's very hard to find good work, that labor work, that want to do the labor work. And it's very hard to do that. So I would like to see something where, you know, they can apply, or if you know who's going to be, you know, I have this person that said, I would like to do that job, and I know they do that job in, let's say, Mexico. So why don't we bring them over here? If they can come and do the job for 6 months. It used to be the Braceros program, I believe, where you could bring people in from another country to work for you for a while, and then they can go back to their country. So we need to be more civil towards one another, because, I mean, if I've known you for 5-6 years, I've known you, I've been hung around with you, I've been your friend, and now because I feel I have a different political aspect of things, you no longer want to be my friend. And it's like, why is that? I mean, I'm still the same person, nothing has changed. But yeah, no, the civility is, I think, out the window right now.
What kind of impact do you think that had on the people here?
Eagle Pass has always been a Democratic stronghold, and
that changed, though.
That changed, thank God, because when he came, when, you know, President-elect Trump came in, he started, you know, we all started having a conversation with those that would listen and say, hey, look, we're Hispanic, and Eagle Pass is a Hispanic town. We're Hispanic, our beliefs, religious or otherwise, tend to be more conservative. And I think that's one of the things that changed, because, like, I know a lot of the ladies that I hang out with, they're Catholic, they're conservative, and they're older ladies, and they were always saying about, you know, abortion. That was one of their biggest things. And I would always say, well, how could you vote Democrat when you have your belief that abortion shouldn't come? It shouldn't happen. You know, you have to vote the other way. I mean, I think, to me, I would always tell them, you're voting against God. You know, so I think that changed. Of course, the impact of all the illegals coming in, I think that was an eye-opener for everybody, because we would always like have reports of, hey, somebody's at my house, they want to come in and charge their phone, or they want water, or they want food, or, you know, they're asking us for a ride. And we're like, well, we'll send somebody over there. So, you know, they started noticing, if we don't put a stop to this, they're going to be invading our houses, you know. I know we've had, it was in the news a couple of times that, you know, older people, they got their houses broken into, and, you know, the ranchers out there also, you know, get their houses broken into just, you know, to go get some food or water.
We're right across the street where Shelby Park is. So when they left, that was kind of our play area. And to see it where you can't go in there no more, it's like, you know, what happened to our childhood? What happened to, you know, it being a free place to go and just enjoy? And before they closed it down, I used to take my son there because I have a son with special needs, and we used to ride down to where and just to see the people cross, and we used to wave at them. And that's the thing, it's like, why did you take that away from us? I understand there's people crossing and all that, but that's been going on for years. It just didn't happen right now.
What are you hoping happens? Because Donald Trump is going to take his oath of office on the 20th. And we are expecting sweeping changes with immigration. How do you feel?
Well, like I say, it's been happening for many years.
When you say it's happening, you mean people crossing over?
Crossing over. It's happened many years where you had people who would cross over, who would care for other people's kids, like maids. And then all of a sudden, they became citizens because the people who hired them would help them, become citizens. And the thing is, it's like they're trying to do something that there's not going to be a change because it's been happening for many years. They're going to find another way into the United States.
It's scary. Like several times we've had there where we live, like everybody stay inside your house because there's people going around trying to get into people's houses. So it's crazy, it's scary. Yes, there's a lot of times where there's illegals crossing through here, through wherever, and traffic has to stop, and you're waiting there, and maybe you'll get late to work, or maybe you won't. So sometimes it is, what do you call it? It's difficult. It's different. You have to deal with it.
Right, people don't understand that unless
Yes.
you live it
Yes.
every single day.
Yes.
So-
Hearing the helicopter at 2, 3 in the morning go over your house or whatever it is, you can hear it, and it's an everyday thing.
Does it worry you?
Not really, because you hear the helicopter, you hear the police, so they're doing their jobs.
Did you vote?
No,
You didn't. You did not.
no,
Okay, and I'm just curious.
I don't vote. I don't.
A lot of young people are kind of like dissatisfied with the political process. Is that you? You're just like, do not believe the politicians?
I do. I like it, but I just don't vote. Whatever happens, happens.
So tell me one thing that you're looking forward to this year, 2025, that you want to focus on.
Lowering down the inflation on everything. Hopefully, prices go down on everything. Yes.
And do you rely on tips here?
Yes, we do. Yes. Through the outside, my girlfriend runs a little small business, and she bakes a lot, she cooks a lot, and the eggs are pricey, and I tell her, just put the prices up. And sometimes we sell and sometimes we don't, so it's hard. Sometimes we have to throw $60, $70 of product away in the trash because people didn't buy because it's expensive. But we know why it's expensive because we have to go off what we buy, how much we put into it, and how much we're going to get out of it. So inflation is a big thing.
When it comes to voting, I always focus on what the candidate has to offer. If I feel that they're not going to help in any way through mental health, domestic violence, helping our veterans, then there's a question mark for me in the sense of, okay, you're president now. What are you going to do for us who have gone through domestic violence, who are going through suicide, who are thinking about it, who are in need of therapy? How are you going to help our veterans in that situation? Because all I see is, in his perspective and the way I've been listening to him, is I'm going to lower Social Security, or I'm going to do this or that. What about your people that voted for you? What are you going to do for them? And that's my question. What are you going to do for your people that are in need of your assistance? Not the people who bought, thousands of votes for you, or people that, are catering to you. No, you got to think of the people who are out here, who are living, and who are trying to cope that you're going to be the president, but at the same time, how do you plan to help? That's my question. How does he plan to help the people get resources, get some sort of therapy, help our homeless, because a lot of the homeless are veterans. And I've seen a lot of it in San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. And I say those areas because I've gone and...
That's what you've seen.
And that's, you see people on the benches and it's like, why do they have to be homeless? Why can't we build something for these people? It's just sad. I see my country looking sad. Like I see Eagle Pass sometimes looking sad due to the border crisis and the wiring and all that they're arguing about. And like I say, why are we more concerned about the people who are crossing over instead of about the people who are living in Eagle Pass and are needing help? Help with food, help with shelter, help with therapy, help, all that. And that's the way I feel.